Yugi Bros!
So I think we've all had enough time to digest this monstrous ban list. So let's get into this. What's up, Yugi Bros? It's Connor, and I want to talk to you about the bombshell of a ban list that Konami dropped on us yesterday. This is going into effect January 2020th. Ooh, it goes until March 30th. It's a no sooner than March 30th, 2020. That could be afterward. It's interesting that I actually put that because April 1st is when we get the rule change where we can summon Fusion, Synchro, and XYZs to main monster zones again, and they don't have to follow link arrows. But what's interesting with that is that I actually thought that Konami would, as most people did, drop a small list here on just corrective hits, not a big thing, not preemptive unless they thought anything was going to be cancerous for that, and just let it ride out until April 1st, and then give us, the bombshell list. And I didn't even think it was going to be April 1st. I figured it'd be more like maybe a week, 2 or 3 weeks into April, just to see what people are messing with. But no, they decided to drop a bombshell to yesterday and let it ride into the current format of what will be the new rule change. Whether or not we get a list on April 1st to change that, or a few weeks after that, this won't be the WCQ list, but this is definitely going to be a huge shakeup for the months of January, February, and March for sure, especially on the horizon of Ignition Assault. I'm really interested to see on how this is going to play out. I didn't make a ban list reaction video. It was actually at work, so I couldn't react fast enough. Plus, I'm not trying to compete here on reaction videos. Like, you all watch, the regular, the big YuGiOh channels. I said I was going to try to make more regular YuGiOh videos. So this is definitely one of those. But I knew I couldn't compete on reacting as fast as the other guys did, especially while I was at work. So I figured let's let it sink in. Let's give it a day to just think about this stuff. This obviously isn't a normal list. This is kind of insane. But I love lists like this, as do most of you, with huge shakeups. And I'm not going to lie, a lot of my decks died on this. I'm pretty straightforward when it comes to regular Yu-Gi-Oh! I like playing the helmet decks. A bunch of you just unsubscribed right now. Oh, this guy. Yeah, I was a True Drago player. I was a Thunder Dragon player. Both of those are no longer valid. Don't get me wrong. I love messing with dead decks, so of course I'll try to bring them into the forefront, even though it won't make a difference. And once those fail, maybe I'll move on to something like Plunder Patrol. I'm not really sure. They've done a good job at making you want to play Plunder Patrol with hitting every other viable option except Invoked, which I'll get into later. But just going through this list, as I said, we'll start off obviously with Forbidden, Harp Horror. So this is interesting. Me and my friends were convinced Babel would get banned, so it could stop the whole quick effect of the deck. But no, they went straight to the throat with Harp Horror. Do I think this deck is dead? No. I don't think this deck is dead. I think this deck still has a lot of combo enable ability, but I do think Harp Horror fucking takes huge hit on the deck, as did most things on this list, of course. Moving on down to Colossus. This was the biggest shock, not because I'm a Thunder Dragon player, but like a bunch of my friends that hate Thunder Dragon with a passion were all convinced this card to go to 1. And honestly, with how everything else played out on this list, I'm surprised it didn't go to 1. I get that it becomes cancerous after April 1st. That's fine. Ban it then, not now. Same goes for Ib the World Chalice Justicar. I feel like that's a card you'd hit in April, not right now. Colossus, though, as we see here, obviously, Book of Moon goes to 3 on the Unlimited section. Morphing Jar number 2 goes to Unlimited. Morphing Jar number 2, by the way, is slow. It's a flip monster, obviously, but there are ways to make it go off. Obviously, I don't think a lot of people would play it, but it's definitely an alternative to playing something like Fossildyna to deal with, like, a board that is kind of ridiculous, but in the sense of it shuffles everything into the deck instead of destroying, because, something like Colossus and stuff would just save itself. But you got Book of Moon to 3 and Morphing Jar number 2 to 3, as well as the other prominent outs that we already had. One Colossus shouldn't have been a problem. at least for the next 3 months. You still got 3 impermanents. You still got Book of Eclipse if you want to go that route. Like, you have so many options, and Book of Moon was just another option that they gave us to out Colossus if it was at 1. But no, they got rid of it. And I understand you can cycle back Colossus with the Thunder Dragon fusions and stuff. That's not the point. And I guess Pot of Avarice, to a lesser extent, you could mix your stuff back in there too, so you don't have to fuse it back, even though you normally would just fuse it back with fusion. But why ban it now? That's my question. What were they so worried about that it just needed to go? Would it just keep it in check because everything else got murdered on this list, that Thunder Dragon would be the clear winner even with Colossus at 1? Maybe. Maybe that's why. And if that's why, I don't really hate the hit. But I just think the card should have been hit to 1 now. And if they thought it as a future threat in the future, put it to 0 then. Give us 3 months of it at 1. We've had it at 3 forever. Give us a chance to play it at 1 before you just ixnay it off the list completely. But that's my thought on Colossus. Ib is exactly what I just said a second ago. Like, I think it'd be fine now. I think it's more cancerous when we get to April. I'm still surprised they just straight up banned it. Obviously, you don't play more than 1, so getting rid of it's just that simple. But until Eternity Code came out, I didn't think this thing was going to be too much of a problem, but apparently Konami did, so it's gone. Tempest Magician is the first hit here that makes complete sense to me. This card enables dumb FTKs, and nobody likes FTKs, so good riddance. I'm okay with that. That needed to go. Azathoth is the second one that makes complete sense. Get rid of the rank up magic Phantom Knight launch thing. It died for the sins of Azathoth. Azathoth should have always been the card to get hit, and now it is, so it's gone. Thank God. Mirage Stalio, again, this is something that, like, come April 1st with the new rule change, that's where you ban it if you think it's that big of a deal. Not now. But I guess if you want to put Salad in check because you've checked everything else on this list, except Invoked, then I guess hit that. Man, it's heavy. This whole list is heavy. Now Engage. All right, everyone talks about how Engage needs to go. I've been a huge supportant of Engage is fine, Hornet Drones is the problem, as well as a lot of friends of mine at my locals also agree that Hornet Drones is the problem. You kill Hornet Drones, it still essentially gets rid of people splashing the 3 Engage 1 Hornet Drones in everyone's deck, but it still gives Sky Striker something to work with, and then the deck becomes Ray.deck instead of Hornet Drones.deck. But then they ban Engage instead. Now, was this surprising? No. Everyone wanted Engage gone. I don't know if everyone wanted it banned. I thought a lot of people said it was going to go to 1. But getting rid of it completely definitely leaves holes in the deck. I think the deck becomes high. So Kagari goes to 3 because of this. The deck becomes Hayate spam, where you just dump things from the deck when Hayate swings, add it back with Kagari main 2, and that's how you play the deck. You don't get your +1s off Engage anymore, which, I guess makes sense, and that's fine. And as the deck being Hayate Kagari spam, is that bad? I would tell you without all these other hits that, yeah, that probably wouldn't survive, but with all these other checks to major decks, it might actually still be completely viable. I love looking at, like I said in the past, I love looking at dead decks and thinking, no, these aren't dead. Let me explain to you why these decks will still be fine. So, I actually think Sky Striker is not terrible here. I actually kind of wish Kagari went to 2 with Engage getting banned, just because I think that could be a strategy. But again, it may not complete. We have Invoked. It's not just Invoked, by the way, guys. I'm loving the whole. It's not like I would have wanted anything in Invoked to get hit necessarily. It's just that, like, Invoked is a deck that, like, dodges lists because there's nothing inherently broken about anything in that deck. But it's definitely a deck that can, like, survive through formats, and after a Banlist, it gets nothing but more powerful because everything else got hit. Anyways, Heavy Metal Foes Electromite. My God, all right. I'm biased when it comes to this. I hate Pendulums with a passion. I hate the entire mechanic. I think it was a dumb idea, I think it's a smart idea to give cards 2 effects, one being a monster effect, one being a spell effect, similar to what Magic has done recently. But the way Magic did it was fair. The way Yu-Gi-Oh did it was not fair. The problem I have with pendulums, and I always will say this, is that Yu-Gi-Oh was always a numbers game. Advantage was always the thing. It's kind of dumb that like every turn you can just, everything that was a pendulum can arguably come back. Now I know Link's checked this a lot. You don't just summon 5 monsters back every turn. You have to go to Link arrows. And that, you know, so it slows it down. It's still insane, and they only benefit as well from the rule change because now they can put their Time Star or whatever XYZ or Synchro that they're summoning, or Fusion, like their Vortex, in any monster, any zone that doesn't count towards their Link arrows so that they can summon their pendulums. Like a lot of people are like, oh, they don't get any better with this rule. I'm like, no, they get better. Everyone gets better with this rule. Okay, so banning Electromite, I'm super for it. I know a lot of people are not, or just being like shocked, like holy crap, why would they do that? I think this deck is still fine. I think pendulums, don't get me wrong, obviously this is a huge cart to pendulums. But I think this will be interesting. Servant of Endymion going to 1 with this is extreme in my opinion. As much as I love to say screw pendulums, I think that's extreme. If you're going to ban Electromite, why are you also hitting Endymion right off the bat? But I guess, like I said, they're trekking everything. They're trying to knock out everything just to knock them down a peg. I don't think anything is dead except Thunder Dragon. Alright, so here's my thought of Thunder Dragon real quick. I think Thunder Dragon can play as an engine in other things now. And obviously you don't circle the deck around Titan, but the deck is probably more like a break your opponent's board deck rather than going first, setting up Colossuses and pass. Because going first, setting up a Titan and maybe something else, I don't know, it just doesn't sound like it's going to be really good. But the deck might be break your board and go off dot deck. It could be. It might be. I'm not sure. I still think the engine's incredibly powerful. They left everything at 3. They banned Colossus, but the deck's still got a lot of synergy. It's just what we do with that synergy now. We don't sit on Colossus, so what are we going to do? But anyways, back to pendulums. Man, if Yu-Gi-Oh! If Konami released a format where pendulums were just banned, that's it. And then we had the current ban list for everything else. Oh, I'd play that format all day, believe me. Pendulums are just such a... Alright, moving on. Brilliant Fusion. I don't think anyone saw this coming, honestly. I get it kind of with... I don't know. I kind of get it, I kind of don't. A lot of people were saying it was Jim that FTK, and a lot of other people were telling me that with stuff in the future it gets dumb. Well, it's great. Why didn't they hit it in the future like everything else on here? I don't know. I'm just happy. I almost picked up an ulti like literally the day before the ban list came out. Glad I didn't. Worked out really well. I thought it was going up because it was going to come off the list, because I thought if Colossus got hit, and again, I thought it was going to 1, but I thought if Colossus got hit, the Brilliant would go back to like 2 maybe. But no, went the other way. So, whatever. Anyways, regular limited. Lithosagem. Okay. So, this is interesting. Because this came back, Diagram goes to 1. And as a true Drago player, I cry inside. But as a player playing anything else, whenever I play against true Drago, I'm like, yeah, screw that card. That card's super ridiculous. It's not degenerate Diagram, but it enables so many things. Okay, Lithosagem though. Do I think this is a good unhit or unban? I don't know. Dinos have always been scary. This card went from 3 to 0, so we never got to see it at 1. Will it be super relevant at 1? I guess we'll find out. Diagram at 1 though means that like once they out it, that sucks. Ogre might get better now. We're gonna have to see where Dinos can come with this setup. It'll be interesting to see. Pot of Avarice. Japan has this at 3. We've had it at 0. Japan's really good about not playing super heavy combo decks. We are super awesome. We are super in on playing super heavy combo decks. Avarice is insane in super heavy combo decks, which is why I think this has stayed at 0 over here forever. Initially, I looked at this and thought it was the end of the world. Then thinking about it afterward, I'm like, you know what? This probably isn't that bad. Keep it at 1. We'll see how it goes. I think it'll be okay. But I could be wrong. We'll see. Pankratops going to 1 doesn't make any sense to me. I think if they really wanted to put this card in check, put it to 2. Even though I understand a lot of people will be like, well, if you're just throwing in some extra cards to your side deck, you throw in 2 or 3 of these. So I guess 2 maybe doesn't matter. I hate the semi-limited list. I actually agree with what Simo has said in past videos where that list doesn't need to exist. Anything on that can either go to 1 or 3 and then we can call it a day. Semi-limited just doesn't make any sense to me at all. If you want a card, could go from 1 to more than 1, put it to 3, and if it's too insane, put it back to 1. Like, try more things like Dark Arms Dragon could have just gone to 3 on the last list, and I still think nobody would play the card. Because it's at 3 on this list, and I still think no one's going to play the card. So, Pankratops, I don't know. I never had a problem with this card. I didn't think it was cancerous at all. I didn't think it was unhealthy at all. I thought it was a really good check and balance to specific things. But I guess not. I don't know. Endymion I covered. Card of Demise. This card should have been hit 4 years ago, arguably. Or at least 3 years ago. I'm glad it didn't because I got to play True Drago with this in all its glory for years to come. But it's past due, honestly. In my opinion, it's just past due. Card's ridiculous. You're only playing it in decks where that downside to it doesn't matter. It doesn't need to exist. That's fine. Put it to 1. 1, I think the card's fine. I think it should stay at 1 probably forever until, we have draw cards that literally just outclass this thing. Into the Void at 1. Konami hates cantrips. If you remember anything from Upstart Goblin back in 2015 or 2016, I don't remember. I think it was 2015. Once Hoban started playing it at 3 and everything, everyone started playing it at 3 and everything. Konami just hates everyone playing 37 card decks or less. So Into the Void went to 1, I think for that same reason. I expected this card to get a reprint before that happened, but nope, it's at 1. So no cantrips. Sekka's Light, I feel like putting it to 1 defeats the point of Sekka's Light. This is a card I'd arguably say you could put it 2, even though I just said I hate the semi-limited list. If you wanted to dumb it down a bit, why? Just leave it at 3. It was fine. BA, if you think BA is going to be the best deck with this list, I want you to seriously look at everything else that's still... I get it, right? And Cherubini right now is $30-something because of this change. But I don't think that, I just don't think BA is going to be the undisputable best deck here. If anything, Subterra's got, way better with this list. And I guess Subterra is still brick really hard. Until they set up, they can't do anything. But once they set up, you can't do anything. And on Subterra's note, 2 cards that Subterra's play that I think strictly should have been on this list. There could be only one, should have went to 1 or 0. I hate that card with a passion. And it's not just me. Everyone hates this card. This card is ridiculous. And I have Subterra, so that's the only deck I have left that hasn't died. And I'm going to play the hell out of it now. But there can be only 1 is not fair at all. Shouldn't be in the game. But if you got to hit it, put it to 1. Don't leave it unchecked, Konami. That card is disgusting. And Super Poly. Super Poly is a card that I think was absolutely fine as a 1 of, pushing it as a 2 of, and definitely shouldn't be at 3. You can't respond to it, and that's the biggest problem. It's you want to break a board? Super Poly. I'm okay with Dark Ruler No More being a thing. I'm okay with Nibiru being a thing. Both of those keep the game in check. That's fine. Super Poly is a little cancerous, in my opinion, at 3, and a lot of cancerous at 3 when this new rule change comes. If they don't hit that on the next list, I'll be shocked. Same goes with Instant Fusion. If you're hitting all these preemptive cards right now, why didn't Instant Fusion get hit? Instant Fusion should either be at 1 or 0 based on the new rules. I think 1's perfectly fine, actually. A lot of people calling it to get banned. I don't think it should be banned. I think it's fine as a 1 of, and you get that 1 chance with the 1,000 Eyes Restrike or whatever. That's fine. I have no problem with that. Same goes for Super Poly. At 1, have no problem with it. Absolutely fine. No problems at all. At 2, maybe. But after that rule change, probably should just stay at 1 as well. But why didn't Super Poly get hit here now, right now? What? I don't get it. Red Reboot. The combo player in me is like, yeah, screw Red Reboot, get out of here. But the control player in me is like, oh, but why though? Like, it was such a good out to evenly matched. If anyone doesn't know already, I hate evenly matched with a passion. I think that card never should have been created. Something that has no cost. Oh, sorry, you went second and you skip your battle phase. That's not a cost in my opinion. The card has no downside, obviously, other than just being a brick once you've established the board. But like the whole point of it is you're playing it to go second to break your opponent's board instantly. Like, I'll take Super Poly at 3 all day before I take Evenly Matched at 1. I think Evenly Matched should have been banned a long time ago, or at least put in check, but I'm not calling for an errata. I don't agree with anything that gets errata unless it's a change to a once per turn rather than a not once per turn. Those erratas are fine in my opinion. Every other errata where like they changed Emperor Dragon's effect, I think it should have just stayed banned. Don't change the card and make it terrible. Like, keep it as powerful as it was in all its glory, and if it eventually finds a way to come back on the list, bring it back. Don't change the effect of the card completely. But if it's like something like Cannon Soldier, something as simple as a once per turn, I'm okay with those. Those were fine. But like, what the heck? Evenly matched shouldn't exist. Definitely shouldn't exist. If you want to put it to 1, fine. Keep it at 1. I don't care. If we can out the 1, great. But Red Reboot, I felt, was a perfect check to evenly matched. So the fact that Red Reboot's on here and evenly matched is not bothers the heck out of me. But I know a lot of pro players will tell you evenly matched is not a problem. So you know what? Whatever. I guess. I still think, I don't know, Red Reboot, that's kind of heavy. But moving on. Danger Nessie. Where's Jack? Where's Jackalope? If Nessie's going to 1, where's Jackalope? Jackalope, in my opinion, is better than Nessie anyway. Well, they were all at 2 anyway. Nessie's obviously insane. Don't put it back at 3. It searches. But Jackalope summons 1 from the deck. Like, I think if Nessie got hit, Jack also gets hit. I think Tsuchinoko's fine. Tsuchinoko can stay where it is. Arguably could go to 3 if you put Jack to 1. I don't know. Nessie, nah. I don't Plunder Patrol with Danger, maybe? Unless they think that's too strong. I'm not sure. Semi-limited Deep Sea Diva. We all knew this was going to happen because of the Diva support that we're getting later on in the year. Do I think it's scary? Yes, with Atlanteans, but do I think they deserve to have it back? Of course. It's been way too long. Tour Guide from the Underworld scares me a little bit, but I think it's absolutely okay. Where's my E-Telly, guys? Where's my E-Telly? Put E-Telly back to 2 or 3. Just what's the worst that could happen with it? Come on. Cosmo is not going to be good. I love Cosmo to death, but it's not going to be good. It's still bricks like a mother effer, all right? And Mind Control, another perfect example of a card that just should have went to 1. Why put it to 2? It's like a slap on the wrist that doesn't actually matter. Put that card to 1. Card's really degenerate. No, it's not that degenerate. It's not bad. It's just like I think Super Poly obviously is worse. I think, evenly matched is much worse. Mind Control's... It's either a 3 or a 1. I don't think it's ever a card that you put to 2 or 0. 0's 2. It's not broken. But 3 is a little uncheckable. It's either a card that stays at 3 or 1. So, in my opinion, it should have went to 1. And then Unlimits. Morgan Unit number 2, I would have never expected it to go from 0 to 3. I would have expected them to put it to 1 and then put it to 3. But I guess no one's going to play it. Like, looking at it, I'm like, but who has time to set a monster and then hope to God it gets flipped on your opponent's turn? They're going to pop it beforehand. Or they don't, and then face-down defense becomes fun again. I don't know. In Tribe Infecting Virus, I still think this is scary with Atlanteans, but other than that, we're about to get a more powerful Tribe Infecting Virus. 2 of them, actually, in the Eternity Code set with the Arch Nemesis things. So I guess they were like, well, it's going to happen. Let's just give them back this. I'm surprised it went to 3. I think it probably should have just went to 1 first. But a lot of people tell me this is not going to matter. So let's just pretend it doesn't matter, I guess. Rankum Logic launch. That's fine. It's back. As Thoughts banned. Good. Lady Debug. Hey, Salad. You got this back, I guess. Sorry about Stalio, though. Sure. Kagari. Already talked about this. Book of Moon. My God. This could have came back 5 years ago to 3, and no one would have cared. But hey, it's back now. Guess what? No one's going to care. I mean, it might be a relevant out to something of a Colossus aspect type card in the future. But but maybe not. I don't know. I think it's gonna do next to nothing, and it should have been at 3, 5, 6, 7. I don't even know why I ever got hit. Solemn Warning to 3. All the other Solemns are at 3 and arguably better than Warnings, so yeah, makes sense. Soul Drain to 3. If Orcus thinks it can survive without Harp Horror, 3 Soul Drain says otherwise. Orcus might still be fine. But Soul Drain's there to keep it in check, I guess. Dark Arm to 3, no one cares. I'm sorry, Dad. I love you. I'm sorry so much. I love that card, but it's just so bad. And Damage Juggler should have went to 3 when it came off the list in the beginning because it doesn't matter. Like, until they get their plushes back, and even if they got their plushes back, I still don't think it matters, but Damage Juggler by itself does nothing. No one cares. So that's my review on this list. Yeah, other than Instant Fusion, Super Poly, and there was one other card. I can't remember what it was. I think they hit everything. God, they hit more than everything. This was insane, guys. I can't believe the amount of Banlist that we got in January. People will remember this for the future. 2020 was the list of insanity, and then it only gets crazier from there with the rule change. But, guys, leave a comment down below as to what you think you feel about this Banlist. Let me know if they missed anything, if they got things correct, if they went a little too far, if they got a little choke heavy and they were just like, everything dies. Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to have the conversation with you because this is a ban list that will shake everything up in the future. And I can't wait. All right, guys. I'll see you later. Bye.